What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Middle of the Ring. I am your host with the most, NP. We are reviewing WWE's Clash of Champions. Let's get started. First match we had up was New Day versus Anderson and Gallows for the WWE Tag Team Championship. This was an outstanding match. Pretty much, Anderson and Gallows got back to basics, coming out and destroying New Day, cutting off the ring, taking out Big E and Xavier in the beginning. Like I said, cutting off the ring from Kofi Kingston. It was a good match. At the end of the day, New Day pulls out with the victory with the Francesca 2 to the head of Anderson. I believe it was Anderson. And Big E takes the victory for that team. So, looks like they're going to keep the belts on New Day at least until they become the longest reigning champions in WWE history, taking it away from Demolition. And then probably drop the belts to Anderson and Gallows. The next match we looking at is Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. Nothing too special about this match. It was real basic. Chris Jericho pulls out with the win. Not 100% sure what they're going to do with Sami Zayn going forward, but I can't see them putting him to the background. I think he has too much of a fan base to do that. Looks like they're just going to be working with him, getting the crowd behind him a little bit more while they start to push him up a little bit and get him some wins under his belt. The next match we have after that was the Cruiserweights debut after 10 years. TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendricks. This match was pretty good. It wasn't what I expected. I was looking for a little bit more high flying action from these two. Now I don't know if it was the lack of go from WWE or if Brian Kendricks is just not that acrobatic. But it was kind of slow paced. They did have the good Brian Kendrick heel turn at the end of the match, headbutting TJ Perkins. TJ Perkins ends up retaining the Cruiserweight title. This pretty much would be a good little feud for a couple of months till we get some more cruiserweights into the division. Right now, I think we only have about six. So this would be a good way, good little feud to keep things going until we get some more in there. I think we need about 10, 15 before we can really start getting some title matches and other little matches in there. Next match we're looking at is Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky Lynch. I'm sorry, not Becky Lynch, Bayley in that triple threat match for the women's championship. This was a pretty good match. One of my top three, actually. It was a good long match, which all the matches they did for this gave good time for the matches. This match had a nice drawn out feel, a lot of false finishes, a little bit of interference from Dana Brooks. But at the end of the day, Charlotte picks up the win, pinning Bayley. Now that keeps Sasha Banks looking strong. Doesn't really do much to Bayley, but I think somebody has to lose in order for Charlotte to keep that championship. So I'm not reading too much into that. But it will be good to see what happens tonight on Raw for that one. The next match we are looking at is the best of seven finals. Sheamus going against Cesaro. This was exactly what I thought it was going to be. That final match, they were pulling out all the stops, trying to get a winner. Cesaro, God, we hope he's okay. He came out of the ring on a suicide dive and face pretty much just met the mat first, if you will, the outside before his body did. So we really hope he's okay with that. But he was able to continue the match. It looked like he was all right. Although, want a 100% chance stat, but he looked like he was all right. They were able to finish the match up. The match kind of ended in a no contest, basically a draw. So it'll be good to see, or be interesting to see what happens after tonight going forward with them two, because we do need a winner, and that is going to lead up to a title defense against Kevin Owens somewhere down the line. So I'm looking for them to kind of give me direction on what's going on with that one. The next match we are looking at is Rusev versus Roman Reigns. This was a pretty good match. It didn't start out too good. Started out kind of slow, then it kind of moved up. Um, we had some interference from Lana. She got ejected from the match. Um, uh, Roman Reigns ended up coming out with the victory. Your new United States champion. Um, Quite frankly, the only title to change hands tonight was the US title. But it was a good match. I think the belt will be good on Roman for a couple of months. Uh, See what kind of programs he gets into with who he gets into and with. You're definitely going to get a Rusev rematch at their next pay per view, which is probably Hell in a Cell, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Um, Roman Reigns not getting the best response, but he doesn't get the best response for some odd reason. I don't think they like the way that he's being pushed or like the fact that he's being pushed, chosen one, all that good stuff. But I think he's a good wrestler, here to stay. Um, we'll see what goes on with that. The last match of the night, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. It was a good match, actually. And I kind of knew they would put on a good match. I'm not 100% surprised. They had a good match, very athletic. Both of them doing frog splashes. Definitely, both of them doing the DX chop. Um, we got pedigrees. We had pop up power bombs. We had it all. Little outside interference from Chris Jericho. Was surprised we didn't see Triple H, but if you did look at the WWE extras on YouTube, you did see Triple H after the event was over. Stephanie walking to the car and Triple H greeting her. So it will be interesting. It looks like Stephanie may be uh, becoming the heel again, and she may have known about this, so that would be interesting to see how that storyline plays out. But they've been slow cooking that storyline, and I can appreciate that. Don't give everybody everything at once. Um, but all in all, Kevin Owens picks up the victory. Like I said, with a little bit of outside interference from his best friend in the world, Chris Jericho. It'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. I'm looking for ever Chris Jericho to turn on Kevin Owens, or Kevin Owens to turn on Chris Jericho. Most likely, it would be Chris Jericho turning on Kevin Owens. The only thing I'm worried about is when and where, because Chris Jericho is a better heel than a face, and I can see Kevin Owens being that renegade face that people send love so much. So, well, that was my review for WWE's Clash of Champions. All in all, I thought it was a good good pay per view, or good WWE special, if you will. I don't think it was better than uh, SmackDown's Backlash, and that's a lot to do. They had a few more matches, and you had that shocking championship win for AJ Styles. But all in all, I think Raw did a pretty good job, and it'll be good to see what goes on next for both brands, SmackDown and Raw. So this is your boy MP. As always, for all your news, updates, and reviews, don't go anywhere else. Just meet me in the middle of the ring. Later. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and share. Also, don't forget to follow me on YouTube at Middle of the Ring Pro Wrestling Talk. Also, follow me on Facebook at Middle of the Ring, all one word, and on Twitter, Middle of the Ring, all one word.